lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Short Track Racing in America on iRacing Live and on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Today hosts Round 2 of the Outlaw Modified Series at Stafford Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Joining me in the booth is handsome James Grahula. Spinning the dials and cranking the knobs and making us sound twice as good as we look is our director Joe Peak, and he is using cameras provided by the one and only Dougie Beard. James, the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series is known for putting on great racing on some of America's best short tracks. Tell us a little bit about what kind of challenges these drivers will be facing today at Stafford, which can trace its lineage back to the beginning of NASCAR itself.
Yeah, and Stafford is a fantastic racetrack, and it's very challenging as well. Going into turn 1, it's almost kind of like a late entry. You want to turn in way sooner than you probably should be. But we have plenty of places to run right down there on that white line. But we do have a big wide apron as well, so as soon as that car gets tighter, you need to make a pass on someone. You have plenty of opportunity to try and make this track work for you and get around your competition. So plenty of options here at Stafford, and that's what we're definitely going to see here tonight. It is a half-mile racetrack, anywhere between 7.5 to 9 degrees of banking here in the corners. And as else, what is new this season, we will be running 100 laps here tonight. So tires are also going to be a huge factor as well. So with all these different factors, I think we're in for a great race here, Brian.
And with the track temperature reaching up to 113 degrees, those tires are going to be an absolute premium. But hey, we could sit here and talk about this race, but let's actually talk to somebody that is going to be on the battlefield tonight. James, I believe you've caught up with Ryan Noose.
And that's right, I have caught up with Ryan Nuss. Ryan Nuss, you had a good week last week. I believe that you finished 8th place there at Martinsville. That number 13 machine. Looking for sponsorship. Place your logo here on that front of the hood. Please tell us about Stafford here tonight, and then also what we're looking forward to this new season.
Well, I'm ready for next week. Let's just pack this up and go there, because this is definitely not a track for me. It's been rough in the past 2 races, so I'm just looking to stay with the pack and hopefully finish somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah, and this season, that is a change too, where you do need to finish in the top 10 is what the inverted points will be this time around. But again, we have a lot of new and exciting tracks. We're going to be heading to Southern National here this season as well. A brand new track here to the iRacing software as well. Is that one that you're going to be looking forward to?
We've done quite a few practice races on it, and it's been awesome racing. I can't wait till we go there. Hopefully we'll get some more short tracks just like that with high banking, because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, the new Southern National has been a fantastic racetrack. Been a lot of fun for me as well. But we are here at Stafford tonight, and there are a couple changes too. We have again a little bit longer race, so we do have 100 laps out here tonight, and then also a much higher track state. So we have a lot more rubber laid down, those marbles out there. How's that been so far in the season, dealing with all these changes?
I love the change to the 100 laps. I was hoping for that last year, and they didn't sound like they were going to change anything like that, so I'm surprised that we did, but I'm glad for it. But on the other side, I burn tires. I don't know what to do. I gotta get with Brad Spidel, which hopefully everyone's keeping him in his prayers right now because he's just had a stroke. But I need to get with him and follow him around because he knows how to save tires.
Yeah, and we will be keeping Brad Spidel in our prayers as well. A regular here for the Outlaw Modified Series here on Saturday nights. Ryan Ness will let you get back down to the track and to the race car. You don't have too much longer here before we go green, so good luck to you tonight, and have a good race.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Brian. So that was Ryan Nuss, and he's always he said he doesn't like Stafford, but he's always a challenge when he comes out to these races here on Saturday nights. So definitely look for him to be in the picture at some point here tonight. But yeah, we do have a very challenging racetrack here as well. We're seeing guys in practice right now getting very, very loose in and out. And again, as you mentioned, a very hot track temperature as well. So it'll definitely be an interesting night here on Saturday night.
Yeah, from what I've seen of this series, I've been kind of filling in here and there. Ryan Nuss is always a good shoe, so I think he's kind of pulling the old Mark Martin trick where he'd say, "Oh, well, I'm no good here," and then he'd run top 3 all night and potentially even take home a win. But speaking of some results in top 3, let's talk about our overall championship point standings. Now we've only got one race in the book, and that was last week at Martinsville, but you see Matt Hoos with his win puts him on top of the point standings, followed by Christopher Hensley and Brian Neff. Ryan Edwards-Kiss, who is not here tonight, is going to give up 4th position, and then you got Mike Holloway sitting there in 5th. And I also believe that the 24 hours of Daytona that iRacing has going on right now is probably hurting our car count just a little bit, but you know, it's kind of an interesting thing. But kind of while we're on the subject of results, let's look at last week's standings. If you did not tune in last week, we are let's see here. Matt Hoos was our victor last week, followed by Christopher Hensley. Oh no, wait, that was a point standings. It was one race. So yeah, the point standings is how everybody finished last week. So apparently I need to get my head microphone is on a little too tight. So
yeah, but so yeah, we did have one race last week. So the standings are your finish results from last week. But again, that's going to be very important here tonight is that Lowell Jewell was your 10th place finisher last week. That's great for him because he's going to be starting on point. And a heartbreaking race for Lowell Jewell here last week, too. Was running great all race long, and towards the end gets into a late race accident that puts him in the outside wall, and he gets relegated back to that 10th place position. Not at all where he ran tonight. And he's going to look for a little redemption here tonight, and starting on point is going to be something that's going to help him out a great deal tonight. And again, there are a couple of things that we do new here in the Bootleg Racing League than we do in other leagues. So we have the grid, again, is set by a top 10 inversion from the previous race, and then the remainder of the races will be done by the previous race finishing order. And we are running fixed setups out here tonight, 17.7 gallons of fuel, double file restarts for when we do have those yellows. And the wave vibe will be controlled by one of the admins out here tonight. It will not be run by iRacing. So the first car a lap down that did not cause a caution will be the first one to get that wave around here. No tire changes allowed. This is my personal favorite out here. That's what makes these extra 25 laps we have here this season so important as well. Because with 100 laps out there and those extra 25 laps, you have to maintain those tires the entire race. And so it definitely changes the geographic of the race. If you do come up and put those wheels on the jack stand, you will be having to do a stop and go penalty at the next race, which will pretty much ruin your chances here at a short track. So definitely not something you want to do. But they are giving these guys one fast repair available tonight, and when we go green flag tonight, we will have 95% track rubber out there. So a very rubbered up racetrack. You can see the marbles out there on the outside right now. You definitely don't want to get into those marbles, Brian.
no, these racing slicks tend to not grip that well on the track when they're covered up with those little rubber pellets. I'm with you, James. The no tire changes allowed in this series is probably my favorite rule, and especially because I think you and I have both hit on this. With the hot track temperature, tires are going to be an absolute premium, so it would not surprise me if the winner tonight probably comes from late or deep into the starting field, because you know with 100 laps you're going to take your time, and really try to save your stuff. So those last 25 laps, you've got something for these guys.
Yeah, and so we definitely saw a big challenge there towards the end of the race last week at Martinsville. And so those last 25 laps, they definitely do make a difference. So it doesn't seem like much. It only adds a couple more minutes to our race. But as far as these tires go, it completely changes the ball game out here. So that's a new thing that they have for this season, and a big popularity by the drivers, and as us as fans and commentators, I really like it too, personally.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to more short track racing.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in their right mind would be. So, but yeah, and Stafford is a great racetrack out here tonight, and it's a fast one too. So this track is definitely going to click by here tonight, and we'll see. And especially, I'm really interested this week too, because Martinsville definitely a one-groove racetrack, and especially with the curb of death that Martinsville has around the bottom, kind of hard to make a pass there. Well, we have plenty of options out here at Stafford. So multiple grooves. You have that apron that comes in play as well. So it definitely makes this a very, very interesting race tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a good show tonight. Stafford, I love Stafford. I love these modifieds running around here. They're going to put on a great show. Kind of in, let's take a look here in the overall practice results. Matt Hoos is on top of the board right now, followed by Brian Neff, Vernon Bradley, and Donnie Moore. So Matt Hoos definitely looking to continue that run from Martinsville. Picked up the victory, and I mean, best way to sit on top of the point standings is to win all the races. So I mean, that's just basic, kind of basic math. There's watching Mike Holloway take a little spin there and stop it right along the fence. James, well, we got just about a minute left until these boys start rolling. Who looks good? Who do you think is going to bring home the checkered flag tonight?
Well, this is the driver's least favorite part, because the last few weeks it has been pick your victim. But I've been watching these guys drive around here tonight, and I'm really liking Donnie Moore, last season's champion. Donnie Moore has been fast in practice, and I look for him to be up there towards the end of this race.
All right, sounds like a good pick. Seeing as I'm going to kind of play a little bit of homerism here, and I'm going to pick Michigan's own Matt Hoos as a fellow Michigander. Doesn't hurt that he won last week and is sitting on top of the practice charts right now, but hey, if you're going to give me the top pick, I'm going to pick it.
Well, he's up there, and I'm sure he appreciates me not picking him, so I'm sure that he'll be glad to pick that on there as well.
All right, as you see, practice is wrapping up. These guys are going to start gridding up. We'll read out the field for you just as soon as we know everything's shaking out. We pretty much have a good idea whether inverted top 10, but we like to do it all official like on GSRC. All righty, on pole, Lowell Jewell, followed by Ralph Connor. Ryan Nuss going to start third. Ryan Nuss going to start third. Tim Knott in fourth. Mike Holloway in fifth. And Brian Neff in sixth.
And then Matt Hoos. Well, you got me saying it now, Brian. Matt Hoos, fastest in practice. He will be starting in 7th place tonight. Vern Bradley in 14 will be outside of him. Donnie Moore will be starting in 9th place tonight. Philip Temples in 10th. Griff Wolfson in 11th. And rounding out your field, my favorite name to say, Lucas Denziano.
James, we're going to call that the Bill Zahn effect. When I mess up a name and you just start messing it up too.
It's definitely infectious, as they're going to roll off here for our first of 2 pace laps as well. And again, we've seen this a lot this season and last season as well. That person that starts on point, they've led flag to flag, and we saw it last week at Martinsville too. Lowell Jewell ran great last week as well. I talked to him earlier this week. He gave me some pointers for this racetrack. Look for him to be strong tonight. Let's see if he can also follow that same practice here.
It's going to be a good show. Fields working their way through turn 4, leading up to the final pace lap. Short tracks in iRacing, they give you 2 pace laps. Maybe it's just more time to think. Run your hands over a rosary, say a prayer to whatever deity will listen to you, and hope that you can keep all 4 wheels on it.
Now, we did see a lot of restart games last week at Martinsville. Let's see if they continue here this week as well. It was definitely getting real hairy out here, but the Ford Mustang pace car is about to pull off here, and we will be going green, Brian.
You're absolutely right. That Ford Mustang pace car dives off to pit road. Field is in Lowell Jewell's hands, bringing the field down, coming off of turn 4. Green flag is up into the air, and Lowell Jewell gets onto the loud pedal and gets away. Everybody's going to follow line right behind him. He's got...
a little bit of contact. They're going to keep it straight, though.
Everybody's going to hang on to it. My timing and scoring went a little bit nuts there. But Ryan Nuss going to fall right into line.
Oh, more contact. We're seeing a lot back here next to Donnie Moore, Brian Neff. These guys have really been getting into it here this first lap. That's not the first time they made contact this lap.
Absolutely not. It's, these guys, are they sure that they know it's 100 laps, or are they still thinking it's a 75 laps that they were at last season? Because the way they're driving, it almost seems like it's going to be the last lap coming this time around.
Well, they've calmed down a little bit here, and they will get single file. I saw Matt Hoos there looking low on Mike Holloway in the number 4. He's going to fall back in line, though. Oh, and here we have a good battle for second.
They were going to try to go 3 wide there. Nuss was going to be on the outside. Holloway decided to fall back in line, and Hoos decided to really fall in line. Taking it 3 wide around the short track doesn't seem to be the right way that's going to make that all happen. It's a great way to end up into the fence.
And my God, Brian Neff is wearing out Donnie Moore's bumper. He's made contact with him again that last lap going into the corner, trying to get him up out of the way, but Donnie Moore is holding strong. He's not intimidated by that number 60 Winn-Dixie car, and he holds that position strong there in sixth position.
It's the old chrome horn. Dale Earnhardt said it best. These cars have fenders. They're meant to use them. And he's definitely getting right all over the back of Donnie Moore as we're watching up ahead. Just in front of you there. Matt Hoos is trying to make a dive to 3rd place. He's got the inside line. He's got Mike Holloway kicked up into the marbles there, but he's going to be able to clear him coming down to the front stretch. Meanwhile, one more position in front of them. Ryan Nuss is all over the rear bumper of Lowell Jewell, working their way down to turn 2 down the backstretch. Lowell's going to try to take a slightly defensive line there, but I don't know if it's going to quite work because Ryan seems to kind of diamond that corner off. But even with that, Matt Hoos is caught right up to these guys. So Matt Hoos is definitely showing that early muscle, and that practice time was not a fluke.
Oh no, definitely. He started 7th and already up to 3rd position, fastest in practice. Matt Hoos is showing a lot of muscle here early, but as he's going to go low here of the number 13 of Ryan Nuss, he's going to go low. He's going to make that pass, and he's going to start working here on the number 55 of Lowell Jewell.
Wasting no time. You're right. 7th to 2nd in 8 laps. Around a short track, that is an impressive feat. I don't know how much longer Lowell's going to be able to fight off that charging car of Matt Hoos, but you know that Lowell's going to give it everything he's got to hold him back there in that mirror.
Yeah, and again, absolutely amazing. Again, started...
Lowell takes a little bit of a high line there. Matt Hoos is going to try to make the apron work. That didn't work out that time, but I'm not saying that might not work again. Lowell trying to run that higher line again, and Hoos is trying to hook the apron, trying to gain a little bit of extra grip and get that run. Here he goes, going to make a dive down to the inside into turn 1. Matt Hoos underneath Lowell Jewell is going to clear him.
Ryan Nuss is going to follow.
Nuss is going to try to sneak in there, but I don't know if Lowell's going to be that forgiving. Let's see. He might not have much of a fight here because when you get stuck up into that high side, he's kind of getting freight trained now. Nuss has been able to get by. Holloway's looking to get by, but I think Lowell's going to be able to get some momentum off of the high side there and fall right back into line in 3rd place.
Okay, Brian, we just came around to complete the 10th lap at that time. Matt Hoos started in 7th and worked his way up in 10 laps to 1st position. Absolutely unbelievable, especially here on a short track. You got to admire when someone shows a lot of muscle, and Matt Hoos definitely did so, as now he's going to start marching away from Ryan Nuss.
Yeah, but I'm almost wondering now, because we talked about this in the pre-race, if the tires are going to hold out there on Hoos. I mean, he definitely put a charge getting through the field, but now that he's out front, is he going to be able to kind of maintain a pace and not burn off those tires? Because Nuss is not laying off of him at all. In fact, Nuss was faster that last time by.
Yeah, and I think that he very well could have just made his way up there. He's happy with the position now, and he might just kind of ride here a little bit, now start saving his tires. So he's got the hard part out of the way, and now just kind of waiting while the tires are good, make those passes real nice and easy, and maybe now just ride and try and wait towards the end of the race. We'll see how much pressure that 13 gives him behind him now.
Yeah, and you saw right on screen there, Donnie Moore taking the 5th position away from Ralph Connor Jr. in that Mountain Dew car back there. I think Ralph caught a little bit of the wall, which slowed him down and made that move that much more easier for Donnie. But don't look too far. Brian Neff is right behind Donnie, not going anywhere. That Winn-Dixie number 60 modified. That is a very familiar car to anybody that is a fan of this series. It's always running up in the front, and you know that with just about 84 laps to go, he's just lurking. He's looking to the inside. He's not burning his stuff up, but you know when it comes down to it, Brian Neff is going to be a factor here.
Yeah, and somehow Donnie Moore has kept that 60 car behind him because he has been glued to his bumper, and here's another
contact!
Tap. Another tap. And he's done that so many times tonight. We've run 17 laps. He's hit him almost 17 times, it seems like. And is now, Vern Bradley. He might give that position up here. Contact. They're going to save it, though. They're going to keep it straight. No harm, no foul there, but Brian Neff does lose that position.
Neff got a little bit loose coming off of that corner and was not able to keep the power down. I mean, that last shot that he gave to Donnie Moore really seemed like it really slowed him down, and that's what let Vern Bradley get around him. And then when he stuck up in the high side, up in all those marbles, when he went to put the power down, the car just had no grip.
Yeah, but if you heard that giant sigh, that was Donnie Moore to finally get the relief of Brian Neff being off of his bumper, finally, for the first time in 19 laps. So, but he sees that he's trying to, Vern Bradley's coming right up there too. He's not going to be able to relax for too long. And Brian Neff, he's right back there too. I know that he's going to try and get that position back here from the 14 here soon.
Yeah, let's take a look. I mean, this is kind of the best battle right here on track. I mean, Nuss is kind of closing in on Hoos little bit by little bit. The gap is less than a car length between them, but we got a 5-car battle on screen. We'll jump up to the lead if anything's going to jump out at you, but right now you've got Lowell Jewell, Mike Holloway, Donnie Moore, Vern Bradley, and Brian Neff all underneath a blanket here as Donnie Moore is going to look to take the fourth position away, from Mike Holloway there. Going to try to get the power down. He's going to get clear, but that's just going to open up the train for Vern Bradley and Donnie Moore's nemesis tonight, Brian Neff. He's just lurking back there. Probably can't wait to get back up to the bumper of that 26 car.
No, not at all. And again, a fantastic battle going on here. Nothing really changing up front. We still have Ryan Nuss right here trying to chase down Matt Hoos. But yeah, we do have a great battle going on here. And as Donnie Moore is going to make that move there on Lowell Jewell, Vern Bradley is going to try and follow through. Donnie Moore is going to clear Lowell off of the turn, and Vern Bradley is going to be down there. Look for Brian Neff. He's going to follow suit. Get down there as well. Use those left sides there on that apron to try and get the car to rotate just a little bit more. And Lowell Jewell, he's going to lose 3 positions here on that left. Oh, Ralph Connor Jr. He gets a little bit of that wall, and he's up there in those marbles. He's up there high. I don't think he made contact again there.
Maybe. We're going to go to a replay here and take a look for sure. Yeah, you see right up there, just gets up into the high part. He's trying to work that high groove in. iRacing has the dynamic tracks now that you can really work in that higher lane and try to make some room, but I think that time he tried to get the power. Was there no? Maybe I should just let the replay. Oh, no! Oh, wow! He was trying to jump the wall there on the front stretch, and then that just made it worse going down into turn 1. He just had no grip there.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury, you get up in those marbles and you are not turning. I mean, you're on for the ride at that point. And if you're like me, race cars are not very good at ice skating, and that's what it feels like on there. So that's when you fall and bust your butt up a little bit. And we saw Ralph Connor Jr. there get up into the wall here a second time because of those marbles.
Hey, James, while we're on replay, Brian Neff caught and got around Donnie Moore.
Finally. he's been waiting to do that all race, but yeah, up in the 4th place, Brian Neff has gotten up there, but Vern Bradley has marched away a little bit as well, so we're definitely seeing people spreading out here a little bit more right now, and Matt Hoos is making a little bit more of a gap there on Ryan Nuss, so we're still seeing a good amount of tire wear from that number 21 car.
And more interestingly, the last couple laps, Brian Neff has been the fastest thing on this track. So watching him march back up there after kind of getting shoveled out to the high side of the track, watching him march back up to fourth now, and it's probably not going to be very long before he's going to reach up and grab the final podium position away from Vern Bradley. So now I guess my question again, is he burning up his stuff too early to try to get up to the front?
Well, I don't think so with Brian Neff. He's a driver that he's real smart, he's real cunning, he's a past champion of this division in this league. He's going to make sure that he takes care of his stuff and gets there for the long haul. He's able to put together a whole race, he's able to put together a whole season. So he definitely thinks of the the bigger picture there, and he's in it for the long haul, and I think that he is knowing exactly what he needs to do in order to make sure those tires are at the best there at the end of the race.
It's a good point right there. This is, we are just past 30% distance into this race. And, I mean, Matt Hoos has got a comfortable margin right now over Ryan Nuss. Everybody's kind of really spaced out right now. So let's take a moment and kind of do a little rundown of the top 10. Matt Hoos is leading, followed by Ryan Nuss and Vern Bradley, aforementioned there in third. Brian Neff, Donnie Moore, fourth and fifth. Lowell Jules slid back to sixth after starting on pole. Mike Holloway is sitting in seventh. Eighth goes to Philip Temples. Ninth goes to Tim Knott. And 10th goes to Chris Wolfson.
Yeah, and Ralph Connor Jr. Is just a little bit behind there. Again, that double contact with the wall there on that one lap. So he's definitely going to hope for a yellow flag here and try and get that one faster pair here before too long. And it won't be too much longer before they start coming up on the back of the field with this pace that Matt Hoos is showing here right now.
Yeah, Lucas Stinziano is going to be the first one that the leaders are going to come up on from behind. You see right now he's going on the front stretch, and Hoos and the leaders are going into turn 3, turn 4 right now. So not going to be much longer before you start seeing the lap traffic factor into this one. And
we see that 13. He's getting up close to that 21. We haven't seen him this close in a while. And Vern Bradley, he's caught up a good amount as well. Now within a second, right there on the back bumper of the 13. We have a good three-way battle going on here. We were spread out here for a while, and now we're going to have a big race developing here for the lead here.
Well, really what I'm watching, when I'm looking at timing and scoring, Matt Hoos, I really think is saving his stuff right now. Vern Bradley caught those guys very fast, and now we're watching everybody run up. So what I'm thinking with Hoos saving his tires, his last lap was a 2060, but he is capable, 2058 the last time by there, he is very capable of running down into the twos. So I think, whoa, everybody's going to get a little loose back there.
It's
that was
getting
a
slick.
snake of loose. So I think he's capable of turning up the wick when he needs to, and maybe he's doing that this last lap here. Let's take a look at timing when it updates. No, Brian Neff. Nope, Donnie Moore, fastest on the track that last lap. So we're going to have about 4 or 5 cars underneath a blanket here, with just coming around to lap number 39, lap 40.
Yeah, and this race is clicking off real quick here. You have me getting all tongue-tied out here tonight, Brian. We're clicking off these laps here really fast, and again, already 40 laps in, and we're coming up here on halfway. And normally we'd be saying that we're getting down to the crunch time, but we're not even halfway in this race right now. So those extra 25 laps have definitely changed the dynamic. And man, I tell you what, Brian Neff has no problem getting his bumper up there, and he has no problem going up there and getting you out of the way if he feels like he needs to. He has no problem getting right up there, right there behind the 14 now, and hasn't made contact yet, but he's been driving it in there for sure.
Well, and plus with Neff having that black and yellow car, when Vern Bradley looks up in his mirror, that's all he's seeing. So that's got to be a little bit distracting as a driver, knowing that he's right there. Oh, we got problems out front. Ryan Nuss gets a little loose there.
That's a whole lot of loose, but he's going to save it here, but he's going to fall back to 5th position. But, man, as we get the replay going up here on screen, coming down the backstretch, he's going to go in the turn 3, and then right here in the middle of the turn, gets a little bit loose. He's going to be able to save it, though. Only loses a couple positions here, but Vern Bradley moves up into 2nd, and Brian Neff followed him.
Yeah. Nuss is going to have to really kind of pace himself back, because I know he just made those tires really angry. They don't like being slid. They don't like being power slid on a 113 degree track surface. So now this kind of worked out really nicely for Matt Hoos, as he's going to maintain a slight gap over Vern Bradley and Brian Neff. No, but
Brian Neff. Yeah, he got a little too hot in that turn, and he slid up the track, God knows marbles, and that left the door open for Donnie Moore. He's going to go down in low in 3 and 4. Let's see if Donnie Moore can make that pass there on the inside. Brian Neff's still going to keep fighting. Donnie Moore is going to clear him off of turn 4.
And now we're right back to how these boys started. Now Donnie Moore has to know that Neff is going to get around him, or try to get around him in every way possible.
Yeah, and after the way that Brian Neff has been messing with him so far this race, is it really smart to have him right there behind you again? But Donnie Moore, he feels like he's a little bit quicker right now, and he's not afraid. He'll go up there, and he's going to start making his way up there to try and join the battle there that Matt Hoos and Vern Bradley have building up here. I tell you what, that 14 though, he's right there on the bumper, and he's knocking on the door and making Matt Hoos sweat a little bit right now.
I think he's more than knocking on the door. He's definitely kicking on that door, beating on it. He's getting, it seems like Vern can get into the corner better than Hoos, but Hoos can just power off a little better, and that's what's maintaining that gap. You see it right here. Vern Bradley is going to be able to close right up, but Hoos is going to be able to get the power down just a little better, and he squeaks away. So what that does from Hoos's standpoint is that prevents that really late dive bomb going into the corner that he would have to worry about from Vern Bradley.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, Vern Bradley, he's trying to stick his foot in the door. He's not going to allow Matt Hoos to slam it on him. And while they're up there battling right now, you do see Donnie Moore and Brian Neff. They're joining the battle. So their little excursion there earlier, that's all joining in. And now we have a 4-car battle here for the lead.
And Ryan Nuss has not really been able to recover from his moment through the track there. He's about 2 seconds off of this battle, but with the way that we're watching everybody kind of rubber band, where they'll stretch really out and then they'll come all back together. It wouldn't surprise me to see Nuss try to get back up into this battle here. 4 cars under a blanket as Donnie Moore goes.
Oh, Donnie Moore. Good block, a very good block.
Well, I'm thinking if you're sitting in the driver's seat of Brian Neff, you didn't think that wasn't a good block at all. But wow, that was a defensive line going into the corner, and now we're going to kind of pay attention to this battle. Because now you know that Neff is probably a little annoyed, and maybe a lot annoyed, with Donnie Moore at this point for throwing that block. As these guys work their way through turns 3 and 4, just past halfway.
Well, in all fairness, though, Donnie Moore's probably a little annoyed with the back bumper and all that chrome, chrome that he's probably left on the back bumper of the 26 so far too. So this is just good short track racing. Everyone is mad with everyone here, but we're seeing Vern Bradley. He's not giving up, and he's not letting Matt Hoos breathe.
I didn't mean to try to cut you off there, but I was watching Vern trying to hook the apron, and I think he got the bumper to the inside of Hoos there, but not close enough to try to make a move. And this time to go by. Ooh, slams the door shut, Hoos did, over Bradley. And that kind of upset his line going into turn 3, because all that does, that brings Donnie Moore and Brian Neff up there. Neff is looking for any way around Donnie Moore that he can possibly find. And with a short track that's banked this way, the high side's not going to do it. Everybody's going to try to ride in line. And they've got to kind of be patient at this point.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, with 4 cars underneath there, these guys definitely aren't acting patient, and we are past halfway, so 45 laps to go that time around. And again, we have not had a yellow here, so these guys have not had a chance to let those tires cool off and catch their breath. As man, they're all 4 right there. A little bit of contact going into 3 and 4. This battle is heating up.
Absolutely, and then to throw another ripple into the effect, the Lucas Stanziano is right in front of these guys. So we're going to have to see, is he going to give way? I mean, at his point in the race, he doesn't have to lay over for these guys. He can race them. But how is that going to throw? I think if you're sitting in Matt Hoose's... Whoa! Nope, he got way out of the way on that one. He did not want to even remotely be a part of it. So there goes my thought entirely.
Well, and also, that was probably just smart on Lucas Denziano as well. If you see this battle going on behind you, it's like, I don't want any part of that. Go on, gentlemen. I will see y'all here in a few laps. So probably not a bad move, because these guys are not giving each other an inch right now, and they're probably not going to pay a whole lot of respect to a guy that they're coming up to lap as well.
No, the give no quarter seems to be the mantra for this for this race tonight. These guys are working around just over about 41 laps left in the books. And you're right, no caution. These guys have been really clean. They've been beating all over each other. They've been trying to find a spot for a caution, but no one's really spun anybody else out. So it's kind of a clean race. And now we're going to have
definitely a lot of aggression, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. These guys are beating all over each other, and they're trying to find a spot to wreck, but I just don't think anybody has found one yet.
Man, just sitting back and just watching this battle, it's been fantastic to watch as well. Been having a lot of fun. These guys have stayed in position here for the last 15, 20 laps or so. Oh, as we do see Brian Neff, nope, he's going to get the door slammed on him right there. So these guys have been single file, but definitely been definitely very aggressive. Oh, and I see Lucas Denziano. He did get a little bit of that wall as well. I think trying to let a lead lap car by, getting those marbles, and that upset the car and into the outside wall, but he continues on.
Just keeps on trucking. I mean, we got... And I think for him, it's probably a learning experience, too, just trying to get a hang of these cars. So maybe at some point he can be up there battling Hoos and Bradley and Donnie Moore and Brian Neff for the race wins.
And I just cycle through the rest of our field. You're not missing anyone, folks. We're on the only battle here on the racetrack, and man, is it a good one as well with the top four here. Any of these guys can take it at this point, too. They're so close together that definitely don't count any of these top four out. But Ryan Nuss, who was up there in fifth, who was in second earlier before getting loose, his tires are upset, and he has dropped a full 4 seconds back from this field. But half a second is what this battle is going on right now between the top four, and at a short track, that is very, very close.
4 cars underneath a blanket. I know that seems to be my favorite phrase of the night, but it keeps ringing true. You're watching Vern Bradley trying a couple different things to get a run or get a fender, or get a tire up on the inside of Matt Hoos to make him come off of the bottom. He's trying to dive in the corner. He's trying to run it in real deep. He's trying everything right there.
Contact!
Contact between the leaders. First and second place into each other. No one's into the fence. No caution.
Oh, wow, and no yellow from that either. Both cars kept it straight. They continue on, but that's going to give a big lead to Donnie Moore in the number 26, and Brian Neff is going to inherit second place, and those two behind them, I don't know how much damage they have, but they are a good ways back now. The race is on, coming to 32 to go this time around. Donnie Moore and Brian Neff, they're in a really good position right now. The battle is down between these two.
Wow, just how quickly things can change in a race. Change in a heartbeat there. We're going to have to see. I mean, with 32 laps left into this race, I don't know if that's enough time for Matt Hoos to charge back up there, if that car has anything left. I mean, I'm watching him and Bradley the last couple laps, and they're sliding it in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think those cars are really upset after that contact there. At least here on the in the quick aftermath, you get those tires really hot and really upset, and they're not going to want to. It's time to regroup, and if you're going to make another charge, I think they're going to need a yellow though in order to have another stab at this one.
Did Brian Neff just catch the wall right there? That car really looks unsettled coming through the backstretch there and into turns 3 and 4. I could have swore he caught the fence. Let's take a look.
Yeah, you see him just pop it just a little bit there. And he is losing a little bit of time to Donnie Moore after that. So suddenly 4 cars. Now we're down to just 1. Donnie Moore is in a great position right now. No damage to his vehicle. The tires are in good shape, and he's pulling away here from second place.
Well, he can drive defensively now. He doesn't. He knows that he's got a gap over Brian Neff and Vern Bradley and Matt Hoos, and he knows that Hoos and Bradley have pretty much cooked their tires at this point. So he doesn't really have to push that hard. He can just kind of sit back there and save his stuff as he gets real close to the wall there. Oh, there goes that. But Donnie Moore, that couldn't have worked out any perfect for him. He was in the popcorn position, sitting there in third place. The leaders had a problem, and he went from the back row to the front row of the movie theater right there. Now he's really liking what he's seeing.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he is not breathing easy just yet, because those cars, in order to make sure that you do not let Brian Neff catch back up to you, you still need to be driving that car. It's not time to start celebrating yet. And you see this track is still very, very slick, and it's not going to get better as the race goes on either. So as we see, I think that Brian Neff just took a big chunk out of that lead there on that last time. We'll see as the scoring updates here on my screen. He does gain about 2/10 that last lap. So Donnie Moore, the race is not over for him just yet. Better keep going.
Well, he's going to be there at the 2/10 a lap. He's going to be there with about 15 laps to go. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. Let's see, in this last time by, Donnie Moore runs a 49 and Neff runs a 45. So I think Donnie Moore is kind of looking in his mirror and maybe checking that relative box and seeing that gap shrink just a little bit. And now I think it's time to turn the wick up. I mean, kind of throw the defensive strategy out the window. And then even more complication as Donnie Moore comes around the front stretch, he sees Ralph Connor, Chris Wolfson, and Tim Knott all in a gaggle right in front of him.
Yeah, and remember, if you look up at your lap counter there in the top left corner of your screen, we're at 23 laps to go, which means that we're past 25. So last season, Donnie Moore, he's your winner, but we have a whole extra 25 laps that we have to deal with this season, and we'll see if that's going to make a difference here in the outcome here tonight. Last season, that would have been Donnie Moore, as he did so many times, but Brian Neff is still right there, and just a little bit at a time, he's slowly eating away at Donnie Moore's lead.
All of these guys ran a 20 seconds and 4 tenths of a second lap. The last lap. Your top 4 all know that it's the pay window is getting ready to open, and these guys are getting ready to come to that window. It's time to collect. I mean, I think the lap traffic has thrown Donnie Moore off of his game just a little bit. Donnie Moore into the wall off of 4. Now he's really off of his game, because now Brian Neff is going to be able to close right back in on him. I mean, if you're Donnie Moore, you're sitting there and you're screaming at those lap cars to get out of the way, but at the back end of this field, they have a right to defend their position.
Yeah, and I mean, that's pretty much exactly what Brian Neff did a couple laps ago. I don't think that Donnie Moore hurt the car at all, but we're going to see is he's going to try and work his way through that lap traffic, and this is going to be a key point in the race, too, as who's going to be able to get around the lap traffic here. As you saw, Donnie Moore was able to clear Ralph Connor Jr. Brian Neff was not able to that time. He's going to, but also Vern Bradley, he's been slowly clawing his way back up here, too. He's gained about half a second since that incident with Matt Hoos a couple laps ago, so he might be trying to get back up here and join the fray again as well.
Yeah, but I think Donnie Moore caught the lap car at a bad time, and I think Neff caught it at a better time coming off of the corner, because now that gap is 4 tenths of a second. Watching Donnie Moore work underneath trying to lap Chris Wolfson, put him down. Wolfson's going to take it really high, try to stay out of the way of everybody, and Neff gets around the lap car just as easy. Vern Bradley back there not having so much luck trying to get around the lap cars. He was closing in, and he caught them on the back stretch. Goodness gracious.
These guys are driving the ever-living daylights out of these cars right now. As you're seeing both Donnie Moore and Brian Neff getting loose off the corners, it's go time, as we do have the replay pulling up right here on your screen.
Yeah, Ralph Connor, you're going to catch it right here. He's going to go up, kiss the wall pretty hard, and then come right down in front of Matt Hoos. Wow, that could have been a disaster for Hoos.
Donnie Moore, as he's going low here on the number 41, and Tim Knott Brian Neff's going to follow through, but Donnie Moore's getting through these lap traffic. He got through the important ones right there. He's got clean racetrack here in front of him as we're coming to. That was 14 laps to go that time around. So we don't have very much longer to go here in this race. And Brian Neff, he is definitely up there within striking distance. So we'll see what he can do with that number 26.
And we know that Brian Neff is not afraid to lay the chrome horn to the back of Donnie Moore. That was kind of our talking point for the first quarter of this race. As you see Lucas Stinziano getting way out of the way. He does not want to be a part of this battle again. Neff is now 2/10 back, coming off of turn 2. We've got 13 laps to go. Brian Neff all over the rear bumper of Donnie Moore. Oh man, this is going to get good before the end of this.
And how fitting is it that Brian Neff is sponsored by Winn-Dixie, because you could tell that man is hungry. With the whole last season without a win, and being the champion with the season previous to that, you know that he is he expects to win, and it's been a long time since he's been in the victory lane. He wants that bad. He wants that position. Oh, as we see him charge really hard. Wow,
I think he overdrove the corner there. Slid way up, and now he's in the clutches of Vern Bradley. Matt Hoos back there getting squirrely off of the corner. As we're coming down to 10 laps to go.
Still loose.
Vern Bradley's going to try to get the inside line going down into turn 1. Let's see if he's going to be able to make it stick. And he absolutely will. I think Brian Neff has taken and burned all of the feel good off of those tires, and they have probably about the same amount of grip as the plastic toy tires that you would find on a Hot Wheels car at this point.
Yeah, and at a certain point, those tires are going to hit the cliff, and we were live on board when we saw it happen to Brian Neff, and those tires went away in a big way, sliding up really hard into turn 1, getting up in those marbles, which did not help the situation at all. Vern Bradley took advantage, and we're coming to 8 laps to go this time around. I don't know if Vern Bradley's going to have enough time to catch up to the number 26 of Donnie Moore, but you know that he's definitely going to try as he gains a little bit on him that lap.
He's going to need to run him down about 2/10 a lap to even get to the rear bumper. Coming to 7 to go this time. Last time he cut a tenth, or about half a tenth off of it. Let's see what happens this time by as timing and scoring updates. Ooh, he cut 2/10 off of it that time.
Yeah, so Vern Bradley's not going down without a fight, as I'm seeing both of them appear here on my screen as well. So he's definitely there. So we'll see if he's able to get there, and then again, if he's able to do anything with the number 26 of Donnie Moore.
If he wants to make it now, this is his time to strike. Get after it, son. Get after it. Put the power down. Another 10th off this lap. 7/10 on the track. 6 coming to 5 laps to go. Man, if he can get close enough, we know he's not afraid to try to make a bold maneuver to try to get around a competitor, especially with the lead on the line. I have a feeling he's not going to be afraid to potentially move Donnie Moore well out of the way.
Yeah, and Vern Bradley, he's another one of those guys that it's been a while since he's had a win, so you know that he really wants to take that pretty much. Donnie Moore, last season's champion, won 3 races. He's been winning a lot, and I think that Vern Bradley and Brian Neff both, they have no problem taking something from Donnie Moore here if they get the opportunity.
It's a little bit of bragging rights when you can knock off the champion, beating him for a victory here in this series. Let's see, 3 laps to go this time. Timing and scoring says, they about equaled out on the lap time, but you can visibly see Bradley closer now. 0.5 of a second separates first and second place, coming to 2 laps to go. And now it's down to 0.4. There, man, Vern Bradley's trying to get the hook up off of the corner.
A little bit of the wall there, I think.
I think he caught the wall a little bit, but I don't think it hurt him too much.
He's still going. That didn't slow down Vern Bradley at all. Yeah,
0.3.
Yeah, he's getting there. Oh, this is getting interesting for sure. Donnie Moore, I hope you're ready, because Vern Bradley, he's there and he wants it.
White flag is in the air for Donnie Moore. Can he hold on for 4 more corners? Will Vern Bradley try to make a maneuver, or will Brian Neff be in the popcorn position and just take advantage of these two hit each other? I don't think he's going to be close enough unless he makes an absolute dive bomb maneuver. He tries to sail it in there, but Donnie Moore is going to take all chargers, all challenges, and win today at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Yeah, fantastic win by Donnie Moore. He had the race fall into his lap, but he definitely had to fend off a lot of really hungry competitors as well. Again, with Brian Neff wearing out his back bumper early on in that race. But yeah, and that hard charge from Vern Bradley at the end, fantastic win here to Donnie Moore as he's going to take home the victory here tonight.
Just a great drive from Donnie Moore. Was able to
And we
withstand
went caution free, I believe.
caution free. That's the best part about some good old fashioned Saturday night short track racing. I mean, it definitely wasn't incident free, but it was caution free.
Yeah, and even though we went caution free, we didn't need no caution clock to close things back up here and make them competitive tonight. We definitely had a great race from start to finish here, and man, yeah, fantastic race here on Saturday night. The Outlaw Modified Series from the Bootleg Racing League, they deliver again.
All right, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to let everybody get collected up and come back to you on the other side with the full field rundown and driver interview, so stay tuned. 100 laps of great short track racing is what you just saw tonight on the Global Sim Racing channel. The Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series did not disappoint. Let's go and run through the field as a full field rundown. Donnie Moore brings home the victory, followed by Vern Bradley and Brian Neff. 4th place went to Matt Hoos. 5th place went to Ryan Nuss. And 6th place to Philip Temples. James, finish us out.
Yeah, and Mike Holloway comes home in the 7th position. Lowell Jewell, your pole setter, he comes home in 8th. Tim Knott, your first car 1 lap down, he comes home in 9th. Chris Wolfson in the number 17. He'll round out your top 10, who will be starting on pole next week. Ralph Connor Jr. Comes home in 11th, and Lucas Denziano rounds out the field here in 12th.
All right, and I also think that it's time to talk to some drivers. So let's see who we're going to bring on down here first. I think, James, are you going to catch up with our 3rd place finisher, Mr. Neff?
Yes, we're going to get Brian Neff down here in the number 60 Winn-Dixie machine. Brian Neff had a great run out here tonight. Started in 6th position and ends up 3rd. And here we go. Here's Brian Neff. Brian Neff, you come home in 3rd place tonight. We saw a lot of contact, too. You were definitely wearing out that rear bumper of Donnie Moore early on in the race. A little bit of misfortune there. Really looked like those tires went away for you right there towards the end, but still a 3rd place finish and 2 really strong runs here to start out the season. Please tell us about your night.
I had a really good night for the most part. Was racing Donnie pretty hard. Was, I won't say happy to see Vern and Matt get together, but I wasn't unhappy about it. And then my monitor started blinking off again, so I don't know what I got going on. Should have had a better finish than I did, but I'll take a top 3.
Yeah, and I believe it was you. You're down to only 1 monitor right now, correct?
Oh, actually, I thought I had it fixed, and I put it back on 3, and everything was fine all evening until right then. So
wow. So we'll hope that you're able to get those problems fixed out there. And I mean, it's definitely not good when the screens start messing up out here, and not really fun to get run with one screen either. And I mean, for those of you that are not familiar with iRacing, when you have those 3 screens out here, you see so much more of the racetrack than you do with one. And especially if you're used to having those peripherals out there, it makes it very challenging. So, and again, that makes your 3rd place finish last week at Martinsville all the more impressive. But man, early on in the race, Brian and I were joking about how much you've tagged the back of that number 26 car. You laid the bumper to him quite a few times. Please tell us about racing with Donnie Moore and Vern Bradley throughout the night.
Oh, with Donnie, it was just a matter of we were in traffic, and I was sailing it in just a little bit further than Donnie, and I didn't really wrap him too hard. I just was touching him, and once I figured out my distance, that kind of went away. I don't know if you noticed, but Donnie's a good race car driver, so I wasn't worried too much about it.
No, he seemed to handle it pretty well. We saw that he had no problem getting right back out in front of you and putting himself in that same position later on when he got the chance. But if I'm doing my calculations correctly, you're going to be tied with Matt Hoos after this week heading into the next round. So again, a very strong season after, honestly, what was a pretty bad season for you, definitely by your standards last season. So please tell us about next week, and then also how you're looking for the rest of the season.
Well, if I can get my computer issues straightened out, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I can't really say much about next week until I know what's going on. Like I said, I thought I had it fixed. Apparently, I need a new crew chief.
Well, you still come home with a 3rd place finish and tied with the points lead here tonight. So next week we head off to Oxford Plains. So hopefully you're able to get this all under control and get the car back in a good working order for next week. But Brian, thank you for coming out and talking with us tonight.
Alrighty, guys, I appreciate it. Hey, real quick, I want to say a shout out to Brad Spidell. He's not feeling so well here this evening. So just shouting out to Brad.
10-4, yeah. We talked about that early on in the race, and Brad Spital definitely in our thoughts and prayers as we head forward out here, again, a regular here in the Outlaw Modified Series. So, Brad, please get well soon here, and we hope to see you back on the track here real soon. Thank you, Brian.
All right, guys. Hey, and by the way, if Sean's going to take a night off, he needs to check in,
Yeah, we don't know where Sean is. We let him out of his cage, and he's running around here somewhere. We'll get him back here next week.
Apparently he's in Memphis eating some ribs, from what I see on the chat. So that's nice of him.
All right, guys, take it easy.
And that was Brian Neff, your third place finisher here tonight, and Brian Yatsik, sitting in for the rib eating Sean Ambrose, is caught up with your second place finisher Vern Bradley in the 14.
Absolutely, we're gonna get a word here with Vern. Drove the ever living daylights out of that car, getting it back and trying to make a run at Donnie Moore. Vern, we were pulling for you there over the last couple laps, man. How was those last 10 laps working out once you got around Neff and you could visibly see yourself catching Donnie Moore?
Yeah, I did the best I could there. I mean, I don't think there was just enough time left for me to get around Moore, to get to his bumper, to race him a little harder.
You were closing the gap, though. It started out when you got around him. It was down for you at about a second, and you finished 0.3 off of him. So that was fantastic. Fantastic drive. The track temperature was really hot tonight, about 113 degrees. Tell us how that really influenced your drive tonight.
The car was super slick, or the track was, and I'm sure it was that way for everyone else. And it, just a lot of throttle control is basically what I had to do different.
Sounds good. Any thoughts of where the series is headed next week, down to Oxford?
Oxford's a great little track. I mean, not everyone loves it. It's actually one of my favorite tracks, so I'm looking forward to next week for sure.
Well, sounds good. Any other final words before we let you on out of here tonight, Vern?
Yeah, I just want to thank Bootleg, for letting me race in the league every week. It's a great group of guys over there, and I really enjoy it. And I do want to apologize to Matt Hoos for getting into him earlier. I certainly didn't mean to do that.
Well, sounds good. Just a product of some short track racing. Thank you, Vern, and we will see you on down the road next week.
Thank you, guys. Hopefully I can make it back to the booth again, huh?
Well, let's certainly hope so. That was the voice of Vern Bradley, and James has caught up with our winner, Donnie Moore. And James, this is a little special for you. This is some redemption from what I've been able to gather so far.
Yeah, and we're going to wait to try and get Donnie Moore down here into the turn. But yes, Donnie Moore, I'm going to go ahead and take the professional hat off here for just a second here at the beginning part of this interview, because tonight this was very personal for me, because you were my pick to win. And you have officially broken the curse, Donnie Moore. Thank you, sir. The monkey, he could go jump on someone else's back. Maybe he'll go jump on Brian's back, and he'll go take that over to some other league. So, Donnie Moore, you're the winner here tonight, and the curse is finally broken. So, congratulations on the win tonight, and please tell us about your win. You had a lot of really great racing going on, especially with Brian Neff early on in the race too. Brian and I could not stop talking about it. So please tell us about how going 100 laps, flag to flag, and you ended up in victory lane.
I'll tell you what, 100 laps is a workout, but anytime you can get a win here in this series is big, because this competition is so tough here. I just wanted to hang back a little, I think I was running around there in fifth for a while, and I knew some of those guys they're running on, might wear out the tires, and that's what happened. I'm really I feel bad for Matt. He was really smooth. He had a good run there tonight. A lot of fast guys tonight, but I'll take the win. I got to get a new rear bumper, but I'll take the win.
Yeah, we were talking about how many times that Brian Neff got into you early on in that race, but you did not seem intimidated by it at all, and you kept that 60 car at bay for most of the race, and definitely got around them there towards the end. but that track seemed very slick and very greasy out here tonight. So how did you stay out of trouble, and especially with these extra laps out here, how difficult was it to try and make 100 laps out here tonight?
Brian was gentle. He was gentle, so it was no big deal. But, geez, yeah, boy, 25 more laps than last year is a big difference. You really just got to, really be conscious of those tire wear and really tiptoeing the last 25 laps, trying to make them go.
Now, I have our director pointing out that Janie is on the inside of your car. Care to tell us anything about that?
Well, Janie's on one side and Delviner is on the other. One is my sister and one is my mother. So they both passed away, and it's just a little thing for me to do.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we did see the Janie, but yeah, we do see that on the other side now as I'm able to kind of see it a little bit here in our replay. So a very nice little tribute, and they get to ride along with you here to Victory Lane. And we do head off to Oxford Plains next week as well. Please tell us about how you feel with your chances there.
I love Oxford Plains. I really like that nice little flat track. I like it, so I'm looking forward to it. Hey, big shout out to Brad Speidel if you're listening, buddy. Get well soon. We miss you.
And Brad, you're being shown a lot of love out here tonight with everyone with those thoughts and prayers. So get back out here soon. These guys love racing with you, and talk with Ryan Nuss. He also needs some tips from you as well on how to save those tires. So we're pulling for you here, buddy. But Donnie Moore, thank you. A great win out here tonight. Thank you for breaking the curse, and we'll see you out here next week at Oxford Plains.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you.
Well, Brian, a fantastic race out here tonight. The first two races here this season have been absolutely fantastic, and tonight, wow, 100 laps, caution free, but it was competitive down to the end. No one walked away with it, and we see Donnie Moore coming back, last season's champion, to get a victory here tonight. So we do head to Oxford Plains next week, a very flat and interesting racetrack, probably one of the most unique on the iRacing server. Can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show next week. I mean, this series puts on great races. These drivers really know how to push the limits. Everybody was beating and banging, but no one got upset and really, out there into the fence or sideways or dumped or wrecked or anything of that variety. But, we just saw some good old-fashioned racing tonight. So, James, how about we let the viewers go back to their 24 hours of Daytona coverage?
Yeah, well, let's be honest. We all need a little break from Daytona. 24 hours, that's a lot of time out here. And you always have to add in a little bit of short track in here. It's always a lot of fun when we go to that. But again, if you're racing the 24 hours and you took the time to come in and join us, thank you. And good luck with your racing. And we can't wait to be out here next week again, Saturday nights here on the Global Sim Racing channel and iRacing Live. Short track Saturday night. As Sean Ambrose always likes to say, it just feels like home out here Saturday night with these guys, and we're always glad to have you guys join in with us.
Sounds good. Let's shut her down. We want to say thank you to the software and the hardware that we use for our broadcast that you can see listed on your screen right now. Thank you to the team today, James, Joe, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find us at www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSRC Channel and at Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. A special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who both provide music for our broadcasts. Their music can be found at the locations listed on the screen as well. As we talked about, next week, January 30th, we're going to be at Oxford Plains Speedway. We also have other races upcoming this week on the screen, so check them out, mark them down on your calendar, and more importantly, tune on in, people. Until next time, race hard, race clean, and I'll see you on the track.